Hello fellow YouTubers, we have finally, well, almost finished the van now, sort of thing. So we're actually in a stage now we can use it. We're going to go away in it very soon. So we thought we would do is, for those who've kindly followed us on our little journey, we're going to welcome you inside the van so you can see the finished article. So as you come inside, we've actually got the swivel seat turned around in the van. We fitted this. We didn't video it because it was quite a tricky sort of thing, but there's lots of videos on there so you can see it. But this is our setup. We've actually got the Lagoon table sitting here, which is, if anyone's contemplating having one of these, do get it fitted. It's brilliant. It really is worth having. You had to fit it down here. You can see we only able to fit it on 3 fixing points on this pillar, and you will need to use rivets with threads, and I think they're called not riv nuts. Once you use riv nuts, 3 riv nuts, because you cannot get on the other side to tighten it up, so you will need riv nuts, but definitely worth putting on. With ours,
you come outside.
You can actually swing it outside, which is the whole plan. What we wanted to do is to be able to cook outside or shave outside in my case, sort of thing. But it's really great sort of thing. So I definitely say, if you're thinking about it, go for it. We've got a blackout curtain, which we just fitted on the rail. Fortunately, the rail I didn't have to cut, but just by forcing it into it, it gave it its natural curve. So that was really handy. And I say this just got bought off eBay. It's a blackout curtain, works brilliant. Definitely worth getting one of those as well.
And it could be as a.
It's a screen.
Screen.
It is actually. We have a projector in the van, and it works perfectly as our screen sort of thing. So yeah, so that's our screen. As you can see on one of the videos we did, we showed you how we neatened up this edge, because when the roof was done for us, they didn't actually finish this edge. So you actually had the headlining. You could clearly see through it. So as you can see here, we finished off the edge, which really gives it a nice finish to it. These little lights here, these are our reading lights. Obviously this one is situated so if you're sitting here in the seat you can actually read a book, and we have one at the other end, as you can see just down there. I have a small switch that I have put into there. That little switch there is actually for our exterior awning light. These units come from Evo Designs. They're nice units, and they look nice, but they were a few problematic. They did come originally with a grey trim, which I didn't ask for. It was actually called Champagne, so I wasn't impressed with it. So I ended up having to put it all off again, and I rerouted. As you can see here, it's white trim that I put on the edge of my doors. These ones, the drawers actually came pre-wrapped, so I couldn't really change that, but that's fine. But all this trimming, I actually rerouted and put the white trim on it, because I think it looks much better. But say these are nice units. We have the slider here. As you see, we're already stocked up. This unit over the top is not part of the kit. From what I understand, it's actually more for Volkswagens, but we modified it to fit in here, and I say it offers a great extra little bit of storage for us. As we always recommend, this is a carbon monoxide and a smoke detector. Everyone should have one of those in their van. Our hob is a gas hob, come from Amazon, sort of thing, about £85. It's great, it works really well. We don't tend to use the larger hob, a large burner very much sort of thing, but we tend to use this one. But one of the things that's interesting, we went for the cast one, so they're nice and heavy, and they don't rattle. When we're driving, we don't actually get any noise from these, so that's really handy. Over here we go to our sink. We have a round chopping board that we made up, which just fills our basin. I didn't want to go for the usual sink and tap setup that a lot of people have. I actually wanted mine on display to an extent, sort of things, hence why we've gone for a nice round bowl with the swung neck tap. Obviously our water supply running here, it's just a cold supply, that's all we're running on here, and this is a sprayer head that you can either have a fixed jet or a spray jet. That's our dog's bowl. So, but putting that over the top just really finishes it off nicely, so we don't actually see it all the time. Now you can see from our blinds, it's backing. I'll show you the blinds in just a minute, but we've used, this is actually kitchen flooring, the self-adhesive kitchen flooring, which we've used as a nice splashback for us along the back of the hob and the sink, etc. One thing about the Evo Designs units, which we wasn't very happy about, there is a pillar on here, so they've made this is our fridge, and they've made the units quite a bit narrow to go around this bit here, but unfortunately you end up with a really large gap around the back here. So at the moment I've just put some foam down here to stop things falling down. It will need to be replaced at some stage, but they could have done a bit better with that, I feel. This is our control panel. We're using the CBE, which is an Italian unit. It's really nice. It's simply you just turn it on and it runs through a diagnostic. So you've got the top here, that turns on all our lights, or power to all lights. As you can see, we've got a light that comes on here, which we can turn off. But it also gives us power to all the other 12-volt sockets within the van. We have our water pump. The alarm's going off because there is no water in it. But the second one down is our water pump. And the third one down is actually for our awning light, exterior awning light. On this side we have batteries, which tells us the level of the vehicle battery and also the leisure battery. And this one down here tells us the level of our water. See, we've got 10% of water. We've actually got our 40-litre underslung tank on this, so we really wanted to have a gauge to tell us how much water is in there. Down here we have the Urbispatcher. We're running an Urbispatcher D2 heater in here. So nice little controller there, very simple to use.
And then it gives us a lot of heat.
Yes, if people talk about having a 5 kilowatt heater in a van. We've only got a 2 and it gets so hot in here, so I don't really see how you would want a 5 in here at all. Coming down here is my light system. These lights which you see underneath the worktop, I love these. These we bought, doesn't come with this. I say we point out these what I had to put in myself, and I actually bought them. If I open the fridge here, you can see how they fit, and they come off AliExpress. They're very, very thin LEDs. I think the width is 9mm depth with a 7mm wide, so I had to route the tops in order to fit these lights, but they look lovely. Really like them at night time. We've also got lights around the top here, which are quite handy because they're inside the cupboards. At night time we can see what's in our cupboards. On both sides. And here I have the reading lights. And with this reading light particularly, because it's when you're in bed, you don't want to turn it on and off. I put a switch down here, just a simple switch to turn it on and off. So when you're in bed, you can turn that light on much easier. I didn't want to go for those big grey switches that most people have in their vans, the big sort of thing. I just think it looks bulky and it didn't really need to be in here. So yeah, I went for nice little subtle switches there. And the other one this side does the light at that side, which is again another reading light. So coming back to my control panel here, let's turn that light off. This is the Renogy battery monitor. So as you can see at the moment, I'm running, I've got 2 leisure batteries. Those who've seen our video with electrics, you will see the 2 batteries too, which I'm using. They're just giving me 181 amps sort of thing. So this is telling me that currently at the moment, I've got 13.3 volts in there. I'm using 0.1 amp, which is really just powering everything up. But obviously I've got 99 hours to which I can use the current level sort of thing. So it's quite a nice little simple. The only thing I would say is at night time, we have to cover it up, because as soon as the fridge kicks in, that will start flashing to say that it's actually, it'll turn on, so you'll get a green light to say power's being drawn sort of thing. So you might want to cover that at night time. And the opposite effect happens when you're charging. It will actually flash. It'll say it's charging, so it's flashing sort of thing. So it's a great unit, but at night time it can be a bit annoying, so you do have to cover it up. Going on from here, the fridge itself, this came with the unit. Obviously you have to install it. Now we stuck the fridge lid to the unit because we didn't want to lift up this and then lift up the secondary, but unfortunately this strut they have down here is far too weak to hold this fridge up, door thing, sort of thing. So I would say if you're going to do that, you might have to change the strut, or just as we do, you just have to hold it up. Other thing, fridge is dropped into the units and they sit on these little tiny corner brackets that you use in order to join all the units. The fridge sits on those, so what you actually want to do, we found that we had to take it out again, and we put some little tiny sound insulation on those clips themselves, because what you will find otherwise, it vibrates and it sends vibrations through everything when you turn it on. So by putting those on the little mounts, it's quieted it right down. We barely hear it now, even at night time. So we'd definitely say do that if you're going to do that. Coming around to the wardrobe area, just a nice little simple side system. Again, as you can see here where I've changed, I routed everything, rerouted it, and I've put the white T-trim all the way around, which I just think it looks so much better than grey. I didn't want it in effect being outlined. The grey tends to give it an outline and I didn't want that. This is much more subtle, you can't see it. Quite nice size units. We run a Jackery in the van. We have a 1000 watt Explorer Jackery, and down here is an oven, and it actually runs that oven sort of thing. So again, that gives us an additional cooking feature in the van. This is the dining table. We really loved the bamboo effect. Yeah, so it really is nice. It gives it a nice warmth to the van, sort of thing. So yes, everything's bamboo. This was bamboo, obviously. But what we had to find, you've got to put at least 4 coats of oil on it in order to preserve it. But the joy is with this, if you do have a problem, you can just very lightly sand it and re-oil it, and any marks go away, sort of thing. But again, I kind of liked that naturalness, and this edge I really liked. I didn't want T-trim on the top there, so I wanted that. So again, by adding oil to it, it's really brought it out. So I'm really pleased with that. So the bed, or the couch as we call it, is in here. This is the Alt Air.
It's a lounging area.
It's a lounging area, okay. It's the lounging area. This is the Alt Air. This is the 120 wide. When people ask about what size to go for, in this Transit with these units, the 120 is perfect. We only wanted the 2-seater. You can get 3, but they're so small seats. And when I actually spoke to the people, they said they're really for kids, sort of thing. So we've gone for the 2-seater, which is the 120. Really comfortable. We'll show you how the bed works. So this is the bed. That's the 120 wide one. As you can see, it's pretty snug, but it does actually fit perfectly in here with the Evo units. So you've got headrest that just come up. We went for the extra. We paid extra for the armrest that popped down, and we also got Isofix. And also the cloth matches the interior seat, the driver and passenger seat. So down here underneath the seat, we have this is the Urbaspatcher multi-directional closing vent heat distributor, I suppose. Obviously, because we've gone connected to the heater, we can't open this cupboard, but that's fine. It wasn't really an issue to us. This one, as you can see, we've got a big space there. That's where our Jackery sits. So we've got still plenty of storage underneath the van. Also, you can, if need to, you can come in from the top. Once you actually lift the top up, there's plenty of space to get underneath there, sort of thing. But yeah, it's not really an issue for us. But it still offers some space down there. Down this side, we have, this is what we really call our dog's food cupboard. A little light on the top here that you just touch in order to give us more light in there. And that's the back of the bottom of the fridge. But it's still a storage cupboard. One of the things they recommend in installing the fridge is to put a vent at the back, which we have done. But what we do find is, obviously, especially in these winter months over here, the cupboards get really cold. That vent, it's only a small one sort of thing, but it still means the cupboards get very cold during the winter sort of thing. But ultimately, it's what they recommended, so we went with that. So that's our dog's cupboard down there. And we have one more cupboard here, which is our sink cupboard. This one, Paul, this is particularly good for us. Obviously, we have a gas hob, such as you see there. And in order to supply gas to it, this is what they call the Cadec triple way. And it carries 3 of those standard gas canisters, such as these. And it's brilliant because obviously it's a sealed unit and it just feeds and attached straight to the back of the gas unit. And simply to turn it on, you've got a valve at the top here to turn it on and turn it off. Yeah,
I see that valve.
So that's right, yeah. So the valve that we can turn on, sort of thing, and it's simple to change. It lasts, we normally go away, and if we're away for a week, we'll probably only use 3 canisters, but obviously it doesn't matter if you use more because they're so simple to change, and they're much, much cheaper than buying the large blue canisters. And also they take up space. This doesn't really take up any space. We've still got full access to the cupboard and we can change it easily. We have 3 cupboards, three drawers. We have 3 drawers in the van. They're all quite deep. Obviously they go the full length of the vehicle sort of thing, but again, we have, I think this actually here was the, I think this is the one this chopping board is actually the hole that I cut for our sink. So that's a chopping board for us. I bought one from Evo, hence the Evo logo, but really didn't need it.
And then you've got cutlery drawer.
Yeah, got a nice deep cutlery drawer. Another large drawer that takes standard cups and bowls, etc. And another deep one that's slightly bigger at the bottom.
Yeah, and we've gone for collapsible saucepans and kettle.
Yeah, which just helps us in terms of storage.
And here's the goodie drawer.
Here's the wardrobe, I suppose the food wardrobe.
She's got some cereals, main meals, and everything ready
Yeah,
to
we
go.
don't really have any issues in terms of food storage. We seem to have enough space in here for about 3 or 4 days, and we top it up again, sort of thing. So here, Radka's got her feet on.
Oh, just come around. you go.
This is a nice seat cushion sitting on, obviously when we're having a chat or whatever.
Put your feet on it. It helps you climb onto the roof as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a really great step up to get up into the roof. But ultimately it is our toilet. Yeah, so again, I made a little box, saw the ideas on the internet, and we built our own effectively. So again, nice little simple setup for the toilet.
And it is nice and easy, but it doesn't smell. So
yeah, so it's definitely worth having. If you're wondering about having a van with a toilet in it, I would say yes. Even when we're going out for trips, just day trips, the fact that we can pull over and go to toilet in private is so much easier than having to go and find a local toilet or whatever. So coming round to the back here, obviously we've got our plants on the top here, artificial, as they would die, and our blinds, I suppose. Some people have seen our video on how to make blinds. We're really pleased with these.
They're just perfect.
These are IKEA blinds. And as you see, when you put it down, they look really smart. They're not 100% blackout, although they claim to be blackout blinds. You do still get light coming through, but it's a very minimal.
But it's enough for.
Yeah, it's easy enough to sleep
in till 9 o'clock in the morning.
We don't have any issues there, sort of thing. So, but very simple to use, look stylish in our opinion. And we put them on the back as well. So.
So you can see how the light's coming through a little bit.
Yeah. We've also put a little light up the top here. What you find when you're lying in bed is you don't have to go back to the control unit. So we've just put a small light on the top here, subtle light, just means that when you're getting in bed you can sort yourself out, etc., without actually having to get out of bed and turn the lights off. It's got 3 settings on this. Over in the corner here, these things here, these are vents. One of the things that you say when you pull your roof down, you need to have windows open or certainly not keep these vents covered up. So in order not to leave big holes and things, we just made up some little covers, I suppose, to go over with some vents in there. And what we do, we'll take you around the back now and show you the back of the van. One of our other videos showed you how we finished off the floor, but then you can see in this one here, I've actually put a USB charging port just down here on the bottom trim there. And we finished off our step with a nice trim. Again, I think this came off the internet, but it just gives it a nice finish. So as you step in the van. Here we are, let's go into the back of the van.
We call it garage.
Okay, my little garage. I don't have much space, but it is a bit of a garage for me. So what we've done on here is start with the door first. As you can see, the blinds work perfectly in here. I made a little pocket that I wanted. It just seemed like it was wasted space. So I thought, let's make another pocket on here. We have Jackery, and I made it so it's perfect for carrying the Jackery solar panel. Don't need 2. I do have 2 panels, but one's fine for us in the summer months. This is our awning. The back of the van, the units that I bought for the van did have one of these white units, such as at the front of the seat, to go on the back here. But it was awful. The fit was terrible. Which is one of the things why I say Evo designs were nice, but they did come with issues. It stuck out so far, had a huge gap on the top here. So for me, it was better to make my own, just to cover this up, make this little bit on the top here just so you don't see things quite so clearly when you're looking in. And I just think it's neater, it just looks much better. Incidentally, the seat does move because we bought the one that also has got a 20cm forwards and backwards slide. So again, we can push this a little bit further forward. Not that the frame will go anywhere, but the seat will go in a little bit more or come back a bit.
And the sprockets don't, when you got the bed down, it doesn't encroach into a sleeping area, so it doesn't impede. It's got plenty of space to.
This side, same principle, only I made a slightly smaller pocket, and that's really for a couple of seats that we carry around with us. And this is actually our awning light. So the awning light, which goes on the outside of the vehicle, everything sits in here. You can put a little bit more stuff in here. It's quite a nice solid pocket. It's not going anywhere. Doesn't rattle. These is made quite tight purposely, so these wouldn't rattle when we're driving.
Got 2 hooks for our coats.
Yep, 2 hooks at the top here. I actually screwed them in because I didn't really want to drop them off, sort of thing. Certainly with the heat that gets in the van, if you've got them stuck on, you might find they come off. One of the things, going back to the Evo design units, we had to trim this all around because it didn't fit. And what was very annoying, but we managed to get around it, we had this huge gap from this pillar running all the way down here. So I just got a bit of white hardboard and put some trim on it just to finish that off, just to make it look a lot neater. This is the shower. We do actually have a shower in the van, which we'll show you in another video, but this is really for washing the dog when we're out and about. And this is my garage. Not that there's a lot of space in there, it is pretty full, but that's where I put most of my things. I do carry spare bits and bobs. So I think that's the back of the van.
There's more storage on this side. With yeah.
Yes, if you've got, as camping in the winter, a lot of people talk about these little vaxes. Definitely worth having. We found that when we used it a couple of times, we was getting very wet inside and it was taking so long to dry, whereas now we can simply dry it very quickly with our vax, one of these little vax things. And also we've managed to get hold of a very, very tiny but very, very powerful vacuum cleaner.
Hoover.
It really works well.
And top shelves are for clothes.
Yeah.
You can't carry a match, but it's plenty of space for us.
Okay, so that's the back of the van. So down here I've got 2 plugs mounted on the outside. One of the things, the top one is for my solar panel, just a straightforward 2-pin. The reason being, I didn't want to put a solar panel on the top of the van because doing my research, it does say that we need to be, in the hemisphere we're in, we need about 52 degrees to solar panel. So it's much easier for me to plug my panel into here. And I can follow the sun around and therefore keep maximum efficiency from my solar panel. Also, if I want to park the van in the shade, I can still bring the panel outside in order to maximise the sunshine. This one down here is a 3-pin, and that one's actually for my main supply coming in, or shore supply as people call it. That gives me 2 30 volts inside the van. Too nice. Again, you could have bought a big one that went up here, which I just didn't want. I just don't think it looked very nice. I wanted to keep the lines nice and clean, so this was much easier to put these 2 on than put plugs on the outside. So here you see the van from the outside now. We've just recently put the transfers down the bottom there, the ones they camper. The reason we had to put those on because over in here in the UK, the DVLA insists that we have to have signage on the vehicle to denote it is a camper.
I think it's quite stylish.
I like it, yeah, I think it's nice. And the wheels we're actually running, these are Ford wheels, but these are ones that come off one of the Ford's actual own vehicles. These originally were 16 inches, but we've now put 17-inch wheels. I think they come off the Ford Custom Active, I think it is. I think they're active wheels, but they're 17-inch as opposed to 16-inch.